Hello again, everybody. My name is John D. Healy. I do a podcast. It's called It's Good to Talk, and it sure is good to talk, good to listen to. My sponsors are Liffey Van Lines, a moving company here in New York City. They've been around longer than New York City Marathon. Everything is running very smoothly at Liffey. When it comes to moving, let Liffey do the lifting. I also give a shout out to the Irish Examiner newspaper, Irish Examiner USA. My friend Paddy McCarthy is the editor and publisher. All the news you want to know about events coming up, and here in the USA and the other in the UK and Ireland too. Interesting stuff. One of my recent local bars is Hendrickson's Bar on 64th Street on First Avenue for trivia nights, which is fun, and bingo on Sundays, and of course food and drink. Now I always have interesting guests on, and today is no exception. The young man, his name is Brandon Taylor. He's going to tell me about his stories. I think he has more than one story. What about you? Where were you born and how'd you get into everything?
At a young age, I moved to Seattle, Washington, and I spent like my most formative years there. So I grew up there, met all my friends there, and that's what I remember most. That's where I started skateboarding and everything too. So
Okay, tell us a bit about the skateboarding before we move on. How'd you get into skateboarding? I guess, is it like shouldn't
yeah, like I said, I was just moving back into I was moving up to Washington, and I had no friends. I lived in this apartment complex. And then there was this kid with a skateboard there, and like he was like cool or whatever. He was always doing stuff and on the move. And I ended up talking to him, and he was just like, "Yeah, Brandon, like you can't skateboard." And me, naturally, before I knew then, was a gambling man. I was like, "Yeah, of course I can skateboard. I bet you I can skateboard. Bet you I can get better than you at it."
Okay, that's good.
So then I got a skateboard to prove I can get better than my neighbor. And then fast forward 20 years, I'm doing it still. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got into it.
Right, and tell me, apart from the obvious benefits of skateboarding, which is probably physical fitness and exercise, I guess, I assume, and
Oh, yeah, of course.
the challenge, are there other benefits to it, or is it just you're showing off?
A little bit of both, but no, there's a ton of benefits from skateboarding. I mean, the main benefit I would think is the mental aspect of it. Because from an early age, you learn that the things different about skateboarding is like there's no coach. You know what I mean? There's no one physically telling you to do anything, so your progression is solely responsible for you.
Okay.
It's like all on you, and no one's stopping you. So like the thing that is like, I would say the thing I gained most from it is just the ability to overcome fear is what it is. So, and perseverance. Because I mean, it takes a certain type of individual to, take, for example, learning how to kickflip.
Okay.
You have to fail at it 2 weeks straight. When I fail, I'm talking about getting nowhere close 10,000 times, and then you eventually land one of them.
Okay.
So I don't know very many people that can just not be successful at something over and over and over, but then have like the perseverance to see it through.
Well, it's like the old motto: repetition, repetition, repetition. The more often you do something, the better you get at it. And I guess overcoming fear, that's like me doing a parachute jump,
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but I don't do 2 parachute jumps because then I thought I don't get hooked on this because it's like an adrenaline rush,
Oh yeah, and that never goes away either. The
Yeah.
thing that's funny about that though, like they say, like the better you get at it, the easier it gets, right? But with something like skateboarding, it's funny because it's kind of the opposite. The better you get at skateboarding, the crazier it gets because the tricks get harder and the risk gets bigger. The stunts are just all around bigger. So the better it's like a never-ending cycle. Like the carrot that gets dangled, there's
Right.
always something bigger.
And then, is there any like competitions in skateboarding or anything like that?
Oh yeah, all of them. That's like the whole part of the game. Compete and see how you stack up against the rest of the community.
And are there benefits from being the best in your neighborhood or in your club or whatever?
Yeah, you get the girls.
So that's a plus. Definitely, that's a plus.
Nah, skateboarding is a kind of a community where we don't really compete against each other. It's more considered like an art form.
Right. Okay.
So like no one's really, if you go around being like, I'm the best skateboarder, they're going to kind of look at you sideways like, oh, what's up with this guy?
So it doesn't have like the
competitive aspect of
the
it.
ego of someone shooting pool, where nowadays they bring their own pool sticks and they wear
egos get left at the door.
I mean, shooting pool, like the guys that come in with their own pool stick and a glove and
the glove.
I mean, I could beat some of these fuckers. I'm not even a good pool player,
Yeah, yeah.
still get the girls too. You know, that's two pluses there. And I don't have advantages in either pool or the women. But okay, so you're skateboarding forever and ever and ever. Did you ever have any accidents?
More than I can count. I broke pretty much every bone in my body. You name it, I've sprained it. So accidents come hand in hand.
Wow.
For example, I've broken my ankle 6 times. So I've broken my neck.
How long does it take an ankle to heal?
Depends on the severity, but I'd say like your basic injuries, you're out for 2 months, at least 6 weeks or so. Do that a few times. I mean, the most severe ones. I mean, I went through a stretch where I was hurt for 2 years straight. So yeah.
Wow. I do have a medical massage therapist on here quite often, actually.
I have to link up with her.
I must chat to him about injuries like that. Like, we talk usually about sports massage and the benefits of massage and that. So I never got to ask him like how long the healing process is. So next time he's on, I'll have some questions for him like that, and like your ankle, your collarbone, maybe. No.
Dislocated my shoulder twice.
Oh shit!
One time it was so bad that they had to put me under to get it back in. I was in the hospital. They're like,
wow.
Forever, and I was like, just in there, like, what are you guys doing to me? It got lodged 6 inches on top of like my ribs over here because I like fell. It came out, and then I like fell on it, and it like jammed, and it was sitting right there for hours.
You're a bit of a daredevil.
Yeah, you can say that.
I could say that. Okay, so let's move along. Then you had all your fun and girls, but you're still a young man. You get more girls. You moved on then to poker, yeah?
Yeah, I segued into poker.
Okay, how did the poker start?
That's a funny story. So yeah, my friend that I grew up with skating forever, he had moved next to a casino. And I think subconsciously I'd like always loved gambling, and again, because I remember like I'd always remember. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Rounders, the poker playing game, or the poker movie with Matt Damon. It's a good look. Look into it. It's a good movie. But there's this movie 21 too about blackjack. I remember just always watching those and just like in the back of my mind being like, wow, you know, like that lifestyle seems like cool, you know, and glamorous. But yeah, so how I got into it was so my friend, he moves next to a casino, and I'll shout him out, Seth Goller. How you doing out there if you ever watch this? But so my friend moves next to a casino, and in like a few days in a row, he's like showing me like this handful of chips he's got. And me being like a poor, broke skateboarder, I'm like, wow, this guy just goes to the casino and he comes out with $500 every time. And you're like, so I'm like, yo, what are you doing?
What?
And he convinces me that he knows how to count cards playing blackjack. And I was like, what? What do you mean you're just counting cards? And so he like convinces me, he talks to me about it, and I'm like, all right, just because I have like kind of an addictive personality. If I like something, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get into this and see what's up about it. Kind of just dive in. So long story short, he's saying he's counting cards, and I saw it, buy a chip set, and then I spend like the next 4 or 5 days just like 10 hours straight just trying to learn how to count cards. And I got pretty decent at it. So when I go to the casino, I'm like, all right, this is it. Time to change my life. Everything's different from now, you know? Go to the casino with like, I think not even that big of a bankroll at all. Like now that I know
you sold the skateboard, yeah.
Huh?
You sold the skateboard for $20.
Pretty much, yeah. So I managed to scrounge up like $300, and I thought like my future starts now, you know? Good. So I go in there and then immediately just get crushed. Like just lose it all in like less than 5 minutes. And I'm like looking around the room starting to spin, and I'm like, yo, what the hell's going on here? I'm like, yeah, there's nothing like I saw in the book or in the movies, you know what I mean? So then I'm looking around, and then there's this like table of people just sitting around, and then I'm looking at the blackjack tables and like all the table games, and everyone else just seems miserable. No one's smiling, no one's doing anything, and I'm just like, what is this? I pan over, I look to the right, and there's like a group of like 8 guys, and they're just sitting around, and they're all cracking jokes, having the time of their life. They're cheersing beers, they're giving each other high fives and stuff. And I'll go up to the pit boss, and I'm like, what are they doing over there? And the guy's just like, oh, they're playing poker. I'm like, what? What is that? How do you play that? What does it cost to get in? And the guy just looks at me and goes, it only costs $30. I was like, what? I just sat here and gave you guys 300 some odd dollars and got nothing out of it. I could have been doing this. And then so I went over there. I looked at my friend. I'm like, quick, give me $30 to buy in. He gives me the $30. like just immediately like win a couple hands, and I turned the $30 into like $90 or something. And I was like, this is on. And then literally the icing on the cake was, no matter what happens, if you go and you play poker, you get a free like meal comp. So
Right.
they gave me, I've spent it all on like cake or something, like some
Okay.
chocolate cake. So I
Okay.
was like, oh, you get to win money and also they give you free cake. Okay, this is what I'm doing now instead.
Right.
So then, yeah, immediately I was just hooked. So been playing poker ever since that day.
Very interesting. My guest today is Brandon Taylor. We're talking about poker is the name and poker is the game. He knows how to make money at poker. People do lose money at poker too, and
Oh, yeah.
oftentimes you always hear the house wins, always, most times. So there's 52 cards in a pack of playing cards, as you and I well know. And I used to play 25, and it did take good knowledge of mathematics to
Yeah.
figure out. I'm sure you're very aware of this one, to figure out what cards are played and what cards are left. And it's knowing what cards are left. You got to know when to hold them, and you got to know when to fold them. I feel a song coming on here. So, are you good at mathematics in general, or?
Well, I'm actually a ninth grade dropout, but here's the type of person I am. So I dropped out of ninth grade, but my claim to fame is I got a perfect score on the GED. So I'm an excelling underachiever. But as far as the mathematics aspect of it, it's not complex. I would say like a ninth or 10th grade mathematical education is more than enough to get you by.
Absolutely. I mean, I have friends that dropped out before they ever dropped in. They learned mathematics shooting darts. So
Yeah.
darts, like you already know, 319 is 57, 317 is 51, 318 is 54, 316 is 48. So right away you know the basics of it. And if you're playing 101 and you hit a double 18, now you know you need a 25 and you need a double 20, and you won the game in 3 darts. So
Mm-hmm.
poker, I guess, has similarities of you watching the cards. So you mentioned there about the guys being very jovial. I always thought people that play poker are very serious, like dour faced. Poker face is the name, isn't it?
Yeah, poker face, but that's different.
Your name is Brandon, by the way. My guest is Brandon.
Yes, sir. Hello, everyone. But yeah, so that's different. As far as like poker faces go, it's kind of like an allure that like the public thinks of it. It's not that much of a real thing. Because at the end of the day, it's like the money talks. As long as you don't do something like absurd, the poker face is not the biggest part of the game.
Okay, but if I'm sitting directly across from you, like, well, I know we're on camera today, computer, but if you picked up like that's a deck of cards, but these are tarot cards, they're not playing cards. Come to those in a minute. And I already see you pick up your cards, and if you smile, I'm going to assume you got a good hand.
Exactly.
But if you frown, I'm going to say, fuck, he has shit all there. And if I have 4 aces, I guess I got a good hand already,
Yeah, I mean, but then it's like, so in the gambling world, it's called like the metagame. So like, there's like a realm of like thoughts where exactly what you're saying, like, you're going to think I have that, right?
Yes.
And I can do a thing called like a reverse tell. So I can frown when I have a good hand if I think that you think
Oh,
that I'm going to frown if I have a bad hand.
right.
You know what I mean? So there's just levels to the whole game.
So like, if I do this, that means I'm thinking. That means I
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Or you can know exactly what you're doing. You're just doing that to fuck with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, what the hell?
I quite like that, actually. I do that a lot when I'm on the subway. Don't fuck with me, but or I'll fuck you back. That's my playing card if I'm in a unsafe environment. So the 52 cards are in the pack. You have to figure out. You deal out the hands. I guess everybody gets 5 cards.
No, so I play Texas Hold'em.
Explain that one to me.
So it's there's different variations of the game. There's like Hold'em, Draw, which I think you're thinking of Draw as everyone dealt 5 cards. It's the older version of the game. And It's not as popular these days. So the game I play is Texas Hold'em. They call it the Cadillac of poker.
Okay.
It's like the most popular one that they're playing nowadays. So everyone's essentially, they dealt 2 cards. which are face down to you, and those are secret to you.
Okay.
And then there's then 5 cards laid face up in the middle called community cards.
Okay.
And everyone can use those cards.
Okay.
So with the 2 cards that are secret to you and the 5 cards that are in the middle, you try to make the best 5 card hand possible out of 7 total cards.
So there's a certain curiosity to the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure, yeah. Well, I was saying there, like, I don't play poker, but I do dabble in tarot cards.
Okay.
52 cards in a regular pack of cards like you play, and there's 58 cards in a pack of tarot cards. The artwork in all cards, including the cards you play and tarot cards, is amazing. I think a lot of it originates back in probably France and Germany originally, like where they, look at that, I just picked you, what I picked you? Ace of Wands. You got a good card. You're gonna have a good
Nice.
You're gonna have a good week.
Woo.
So the artwork in your cards and my cards is very, very creative and a lot of color in it, and that's why the cards themselves bring a lot of intuition. So when you're going into play your poker, do you think your attitude is important?
Attitude is everything.
Okay.
I mean, you can take the best, like, technically sound poker player in the world, but if his brain is not able to deal with things going on, he's not going to stand a chance.
Right. Okay. I like that attitude. I'll keep that. I'll keep my attitude.
Mental toughness is like the main thing that separates winners and losers.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. But then you see people that are the owners of casinos and they go bankrupt, you know? Not
if you go bankrupt owning a casino, you got more problems than just that.
Okay, I like that. That's a good statement too. Yeah,
because the casino, they're printing money. So if you can't hack that, I don't know what's going on with you. You need to seek some professional help.
Professional help. That's a good one. Yeah. So, in terms of your poker skills and all that, are there competitions for what you do?
Of course, there's tournaments.
Tournaments, yeah.
I can fire up the website right now, and there's hundreds of tournaments going on right now.
Right. What do you mean you play online then? Is that right?
Yeah, I have a large background in live playing though, so I played live mostly, but then I just moved out to the East Coast,
right,
where they don't really have casinos like
Atlantic City.
Yeah, they don't really have. There's like Atlantic City, but it's like 2.5 hours away or whatever.
Okay.
So it's not like readily accessible casinos everywhere like it was back home. So now I just play online more.
Okay, and overall, I assume that you're like, it's like all gambling. It's like people that gamble on horses or football or case may be. Would you say you're up, breaking even, or average, or I mean, gamblers never admit they lose. It's just their problem, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're a shameless gambler, then I guess it takes a certain person to be like, yep, walked in there and spent my rent and everything else to go with it.
Right.
But everyone likes to think they're a winner. That's the thing.
No, I got that, but I keep the rent money in it before I gamble it. Yeah, definitely. And
I mean, I've been there a couple times where I was like, okay, I've got to win this one.
I told a story on here one time when I built my restaurant in Ireland, and my friend and I, we took a Saturday off to bet some horses. And another friend we knew from a distance had 2 horses going in 2 separate races. And I wasn't much of a gambler, but he was into the horses. So I said, I think when we go in here, we're going to put money on the first race, which gave the bigger odds, actually. And if we win, I said, we're going to walk out the door. Not waiting for the second or third race, because the chances of a guy owning 2 horses and 2 horses winning on the same day didn't make logical mathematics to me.
Yeah.
So our horse, we picked him for the first race, which is like 2:30 or 2 o'clock. And the horse won, and we collected our money. And we walked out the door. And the name of the horse was called One for the Boys.
One
for the Boys. So we went to the bar and we had a drink, One for the Boys.
Yeah.
Now, we won a few hundred, But I've known people to win like £20,000 and forget the fucking name of the horse. That's insane. Like, And that was Bertie Ahern, by the way. I don't mind naming him because he's well
Yeah.
known. His story is out there. How do you forget the name of a horse that paid you 20 grand? Now
Because
that
the horse wasn't the important part about it. It was the thrill of the risk. That was
you,
just it. Like the horse did nothing. You can gamble on two roaches running across the ground. It's just the
Brandon,
thrill of
you'd be a good running mate with Bertie Ahern in the Fianna Fáil party in Ireland.
it.
Get on
Okay.
well with Bertie, you know. You would turn a dark situation into a bright situation. That's a compliment, Brandon, to you, of course.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it. So, what other sports do you get into when you're not uh, skating around or playing poker?
I'm big into dirt bikes, actually.
Oh, wow.
Really big into dirt bikes. That's actually how I got a couple of these injuries, also. But dirt biking, and it's funny that you mentioned the pool players because recently I just got this like part-time gig at a bar, and they got a pool table in there. So like lately I've been getting in pool. I'm not the guy with the glove,
Yeah,
but I do have my own stick now. So
right. Well, that's kind of important. I get the idea of someone having their own pool
you got
cue.
to draw the line at the glove, though. The glove's too much.
I agree. The glove is a bit too much. You're looking for attention, and if you're hitting bad shots, it doesn't look right.
Unless the thing about it though is like there's a kind of a balance. It's like polarizing. You know what I mean? Like if you come in with the glove and the stick, but you're just absolute trash and you know it, then that's fine and that's kind of funny. You know what I mean? That it's like, yeah, buy
I
this guy a
know.
beer. But if you like come in, you think you're like on the circuit or whatever, and like you have the glove and your headphones in or whatever, then it's kind of like, all right, this guy's doing too much.
That's like the old term, fur coat, no knickers, you know?
Yeah, I got to use that one.
Yeah, there you go. You can use that one next time you're shooting pool. People come with a glove and a fancy pool stick and you got their own chalk and everything. That's a bit much. All right, Brandon, it was good talking to you. Anything else you want to add to your conversation before I get Jimmy to sing a song?
No gamble, no future.
No,
That's the thing.
okay. That's a good,
You bet big, you win big.
absolutely. And you know what? You know what Adolf Hitler's quotation is?
Oh God, what is?
I'll tell you. My name is John, by the way. You can call me God if you want. Adolf Hitler says, "If you win, there's no need to explain, and if you lose, you shouldn't be around." Okay, so
Extreme. Okay, that's extremely biased, and it's not like just a get out of jail free card for whatever
yeah,
situation you're in.
exactly.
But
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to call Jimmy. Get ready to sing a song for Brandon and my guests. Okay, Jimmy's only 12, but he's 12 and a half actually. He
awesome.
wants to grow up, and I don't know. I hope he doesn't become a gambler anyway. But he might sing a song. I know he's going to sing a song for us. So I
Well, if
usually
he wins, he's not a gambler. He's an investor. Remember that.
he's investing in his future. I know that.
There you go.
He's a good voice. He's been winning a lot of competitions in singing, and he usually signs off on a lot of my podcasts, and he will sing a song for us. Jimmy, hurry up! Brandon is waiting. Anyways, I usually sign off in my native language, which is Irish, because that's my first language. English is my second language, and now my friends tell me I speak better English than the Queen of England, but she's dead, so that would be easy for me to have better English than her, of course. So I'm going to say Shinshgale, which means that's a story. Agus Beishgale, that means we'll have another story. I'm going to wave and say Slán, which means goodbye. So I'm going to wave at you and say Slán Awalia until I see you again. Thank you for being a guest on the show. It's good to talk. If people like it, subscribe. It's free to subscribe. Brandon, you were a great guest, and I wish you luck. And don't forget, you're having a good week with this card. Ace of
I like
Wands.
to hear. I'm gonna hold you to it.
Bye.
See you later, John.
Oh, the little boats are gone from the breast of Anna-Liffey. The ferrymen are stranded on the quay. Sure, the Dublin docks are dying, and the way of life is gone. And Molly, it was part of you and me. Where the strawberry bed sweep down to the Liffey, you kissed away the worries from my brow. I love you well today, and I love you more tomorrow. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now. Sure, the Liffey ferry made a man of me. Molly. Now it's gone without a whisper, half forgotten even now. And it's over, Molly, over, can't you see? Where the strawberry bed sweep down to the liffey, you kissed away the worries from my brow. I love you well today, and I love you more tomorrow. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now. Now I'll tend the yard and too, and I'll spend my days in talking. Hear them whisper, Charlie's on the dole. Now, Molly, we're still living, and darling, we're still young, but the river never owned my heart and soul. Where the strawberry bed sweep down to the liffey, you kissed away the worries from my brow. I love you well today, and I love you more tomorrow. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now. If you ever love me, Molly, love me now.